Okay guys, the number one thing we're asking you to do this week in math is to just really practice your math facts before you go on to fourth grade. So we have 2 weeks left of school. That's it. It's week 7 and week 8, and you guys are done with third grade. You have completed everything that we've asked of you. But we really need you to practice those math facts. And even after school's out, even after you go into your summer months, we just need you to continue to play fun games, do computer activities where you're constantly practicing your math facts. So today in this video, I want to show you some tricks to how to help you best memorize your multiplication facts. And we did all of these tricks in the classroom when you guys were in here, but since you haven't been in here in a few weeks, you may have forgotten them. So I just want to go over them one more time. You guys have a test this week where you have to do all of your math facts on Fun Minute, 100 problems to see how many you can get right for a test grade. So again, just want to review with you guys. So here are some of my favorite multiplication tricks. Number one, anytime you have anything multiplied by 0, the answer is simply just 0. It's one of the easiest ones in multiplication. So let's do that one together. Here we go. If you have 0 times 6, the answer is 0. 0 times 8, the answer is 0. 0 times 3, the answer is 0. Okay, now we're gonna go on to the ones, and I know there's this glare right here on the board. I apologize for that. That's our lighting system here. If we didn't have the light, you wouldn't be able to see me, but it does leave a glare on the board. So I try to move it in a way where you can still see what I'm doing. Okay, next we're multiplying by ones, and anything times 1 is the same number. So it's also super easy because you just say the same number that you're multiplying by. So for example, if it is 1 times 9, the answer is simply just 9 because it's the same number. 1 times 7, the answer is just 7 because you're only making one group of that number. 1 times 4, the answer is simply just 4. So I think you guys got those. Those are pretty easy, but let's move on to the 2's. Anything multiplied by 2, all you have to do is double the number. Now, some people use just count by 2's, but actually knowing your doubles and just doubling the number is actually much faster. So let's try it. Here we go. If I have 3 times 2, I'm just going to take this number 3 right here and double it. 3 times 2, I just say to myself, what is 3 plus 3? Which is 6. So I'm going to put a 6 here. 4 times 2, what is 4 doubled? 4 plus 4 is 8. 7 times 2, what is 7 doubled? 7 plus 7 is 14. And 9 times 2, what is 9 doubled? It's 18. So you guys, simply just knowing your double facts will help you to multiply. And that's why you learn addition before you learn multiplication, because multiplication is just adding equal groups, adding them together. That's why on long division, when you don't know your multiplication facts, you can count by that number. So for example, if you're dividing by 7 and you don't know your multiplication facts by 7, you just add 7 and then add 7 more and 7 more and 7 more. Okay, let's move on to the 4 family. The secret to multiplying by 4, you guys, is just double. Take the number, double it once, and then double it again, and you get your answer. Okay, here we go. 7 times 4 is one that a lot of students don't remember. So you're gonna take 7 and double it. 7 plus 7 is 14. And then take 14 and double that. And 14 and 14 is what? 28. So 7 times 4 is 28. Now, obviously, it's better to just memorize this, but if you're on a test and you don't know, at least you have a trick. 6 times 4, I'm going to take 6 and double it, which is 12, and then take 12 and double that, and that's 24. 8 times 4, a lot of people forget this one. 8 plus 8 is 16, and then we double it again. 16 plus 16 is 32. 4 times 4, I take 4 and I double it, which gives me 8. And then 8 plus 8 is 16. You guys, look at all the multiplication facts that we've done already. Multiplication seems really tricky, but when you break it down into these little tricks, it's not that tricky. Okay, let's go to 5s. You know what we get to do on 5s? Anything multiplied by 5, you count by 5s. Okay, here we go. 5 times 5 is 25. Because if you don't know that, you can count by 5. So you can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now, obviously we want you to memorize it and to do it in your head, but if you need to, that is a trick, okay? 5 times 3, we're gonna count by 5s 3 times, 5, 10, 15. 5 times 6, we're gonna count by 5s 6 times. We're gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, done with the 5s. Now we're on to the 6s. Now I will say there's not tricks for all of the 6s, but for a lot of the 6s, they rhyme. So it's a little catchy little rhyme that you can remember to do the 6s. 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 times 8 is 48, and 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, this is one of my favorites, 7 times 8. You just count, you go 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically you're gonna put a 5, 6 here because the 7, 8 is already here. So you say 7 times 8 is 56. Then 8 times 8, you're gonna say he ate and he got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. All right, 9 trick. Now, there's a lot of people who have tricks for the 9s. Some people say to use your fingers when you're doing the 9s, but I have a simple trick. It is just subtract 1 from the number and add it to 9. I think this is the easiest way to do it because then you're not using your fingers. Okay, so if it's 9 times 3, we're gonna look at the 3. We're gonna subtract 1 from that number. So 3 minus 1 is 2. And then we say to ourselves, 2 plus what equals 9? 2 plus 7 equals 9, so my answer is 27. Now, if I wanted to reverse that and say what is 9 times 8, I subtract 1 from 8, which is 7. And since 2 plus 7 equals 9, then 7 plus 2 must equal 9. So 9 times 8 is 72. Next one, 9 times 6. I'm going to underline the 6, subtract 1 from that number. That would be 5. And 5 plus what equals 9? 5 plus 4 equals 9. If you wanted to turn that around and do 9 times 4, you underline, 9 times 5, you underline the 5 and you get a 4 because 5 minus 1 is 4. If 5 plus 4 equals 9, then 4 plus 5 must also equal 9. So the 9s are pretty easy because they go together, they have teams. Okay, 9 times 7, you're gonna underline the 7 and subtract 1 from that number, which is 6. And then 6 plus what equals 9? 6 plus 3 equals 9. All right, the 10s are everybody's favorite because when you multiply by 10, you just add a 0 to the end of the number. So if it's 10 times 4, you put a 4 with a 0 and it makes 40. If it's 10 times 6, you put a 6 and add a 0 and that makes 60. If it's 10 times 9, you put a 9, add a 0, it makes 90. Okay, there's one more way over here that I know is really hard for you guys to see, but it's the 11s. And anytime you multiply by 11s, you write the number twice. Just write the number twice. That's all you have to do. So the first one, as you can see, is 11 times 3. If you write 3 twice, that would make 33. 11 times 4, if you write 4 twice, that makes 44. 11 times 8, if you write 8 twice, that's 88. So let's fill these in. Ready? 11 times 3 is 33. 11 times 4 is 44. 11 times 8 is 88. You guys, look on the board at all these multiplication facts that you now know because there's tricks for all of them. So if you get stumped on a test or a quiz, you can just use the trick. That is the best and easiest way to learn your multiplication facts. Now, there are some that you still have to memorize, like 3 times 3, 9. You still have to memorize 7 times 6, which is 42. There's about 10 multiplication facts that you still have to memorize out of all of them. That's even the 12s. There's only about 10 of them that you actually have to memorize. So in that way, don't ever be afraid of multiplication, all right? You guys keep practicing your multiplication facts. We love you guys.